So I was watching an amazing video by DuskTillShawn about whether Drew Pickles was a bad parent to Angelica, and it inspired me to do a video similar to my video on the Patakis. Now, in my hooded opinion, on the matter if I think Drew is a bad parent, yes. Not in the same way that Bob or Miriam was a bad parent to Helga and to another extent Olga, but quite the opposite, giving her everything she wants whenever she asks for it. And I don't need to tell you hooties that it turned her into a spoiled brat that demands everything from her parents, were it cookies, her food of choice, and toys, and on the almost non-existent occurrence that she was told no, she'll throw a massive tantrum until she gets what she wants. Now, this isn't all the fault of Drew. Charlotte is also to blame for how Angelica turned out, where Drew bends over backwards to cater to her every whim. Charlotte encourages her to be an outgoing girl boss that takes no nonsense from anyone and take what's yours. And to be fair, it is a good mindset to have in life, not wanting Angelica to settle in life but to strive for what you want. However, when you add that to Drew giving her everything she wants and not knowing the concept of discipline and earning things, it's only made things worse and making her the entitled brat that she is. By the way, I highly recommend you watch DuskTillShawn's video about Drew Pickles, and his videos for that matter. Maybe even subscribe. He makes amazing videos, and I know you'll like his content. That being said, this video will be me giving my hooded opinion on how Drew and Charlotte's parenting as a whole has affected their one and only child Angelica, and episodes that highlight their parenting methods. This video might take a little while to be made. There might be some videos out before this one. And I was currently helping with the latest episode of Squad 8 on my friend Yumi Smith's channel at the time of starting the script, but I want to make this as entertaining as my Pataki video, which I can't tell you how appreciated I am to all the fellow hooties that watched the video and liked it. You guys mean so much to this humble little hootie. Also, feel free to listen to this while doing chores or at work, whatever you're doing at the moment. I don't know exactly how long this video is going to be, so I hope you enjoy my hooted voice as you listen or watch this. Now that being said, let's begin with the first Pickles parent, and since we started with Big Bob, let's shake it up and go with Charlotte Pickles. Charlotte Pickles, the ultimate mom boss. Before we begin, I should reiterate this: everything of which you are about to hear in this video is all my hooded opinion, and you have every right to disagree or agree. After you watch this video, let me know what you think of the video in the comments. I do really appreciate all the feedback I get in my videos, and it's always interesting to hear you fellow 90s hoodies opinions. Now, as far as I know, we never see how Charlotte's childhood was, so we don't know what made her the woman she is in the series. All we do know is that she's a mom boss, don't take no hoot from no man, and she tries to pass that down to Angelica.
If Angelica's ever going to make it in a male-dominated power structure, she's got to eat, breathe, drink, and sweat self-esteem.
Which, like I said, can be a good mindset, but when combined with Drew's parenting, which is just baby her and cave to her demands, makes it a dangerous combo. Now, I don't know if you realize this from watching episodes with her, but she's a very professional woman. By that, I mean she's all business, more times in a suit, almost always talking to her assistant Jonathan, and this is going to be a weird tangent to hoot off in, but for the ones that are worried that they might be having an affair, a little secret romance rendezvous, I'm almost certain that Jonathan can't stand Charlotte, if you see in the episode where Jonathan babysat Angelica, so I doubt Jonathan nor Charlotte are doing any risky business behind the scenes. Speaking of romance, I think her and Drew's relationship is rather healthy. Yes, they don't show it as much as some couples, but that might be the way they got together in the first place. They both seem to have a lot in common, Drew having a business mindset even as a kid, and Charlotte more than likely the same. And seeing they don't have Ricky-Lucy beds, it's not like they avoid physical contact, and they don't act all lovey-dovey all the time.
Snookums, I'm going over to Stu's for a few minutes.
Okay. Is Angelica still upstairs?
Uh-huh. I haven't heard a peep out of her.
I'll go up and check on her. And Drew?
Yeah?
Don't call me Snookums.
Noted.
Anyways, Angelica is seeing her mom always screaming at people, or well, more specifically screaming at them over the phone, has undoubtedly fed into her habit of screaming orders and her entitled attitude and her I'm gonna get what I want when I want it, and I want it now! Yes, she's 3, but this is absolutely the best time to nip this in the bud and teach her the right way to behave. But as long as Charlotte keeps putting this iron fist and fight the patriarchy without differentiating who she can boss around and who she needs to respect, she'll never learn to show anyone any respect, and it'll only get worse as she gets older. Now, I won't say that Charlotte doesn't spoil Angelica. I mean, look at the birthday parties she arranges for Angelica. But she's also too preoccupied with her career, which there's nothing wrong with that. But maybe instead of being too caught up with your job, you can keep an eye on your 3-year-old. But hey, why do that when you could just have Drew drop your kid off at his brother's so Stu and Dee Dee could ignore them? Heck, I could make a video on them too, but only if you want. Now, is this the only reason why Angelica is a spoiled brat that she is? Well, no. If you ask me, Charlotte is not the worst of the parents. Does she prioritize her job more? Well, yes. But this has to do with her attitude and less about her parenting, which can improve, and I think she absolutely can improve as a parent. But if it wasn't for Drew bending over backwards and catering to Angelica's every whim, and disciplining her like a father should do, then she probably wouldn't be as rotten as she is. Which brings me to the next chapter. Drew Pickles, fearing the monster you created. Now, we do see Drew put his foot down from time to time when Angelica steps out of line and pushes Drew's buttons, as a toddler is known to do. She is 3 years old, and yes, I know 3-year-olds can behave like brats because they don't know any better, but Drew is a prime example of what happens when you spoil a kid to the point where they get to the mindset that if they throw a big enough tantrum, that they'll get whatever they want. Example being Season 2, Episode 22B, Pickles vs. Pickles. After being sent to a room because she refused to eat broccoli, she says that they'll be sorry. Now, her being a literal toddler, any normal thinking person would just brush it off as, well, she'll just stomp around and be mad, but in the morning, she'll probably forget about it. And maybe she'll know not to throw a tantrum, and she'll learn that she can't get what she wants all the time. Well, not Drew. He was left a scared mess, pacing his room, thinking of the horrible revenge that his 3-year-old daughter would inflict on him for daring to deny her seconds on dessert. Yeah, that was the punishment. Had she not have thrown her plate against the wall, and on top of that, it's just a little broccoli. I eat it all the time. You're just being silly, Angelica.
Really, Hoots? You like broccoli? Well, I just so happen to have a piece with me right here. Go ahead, eat the broccoli.
Well, of course I will. Thanks, Yumi.
Hoots, you know you can't stand broccoli.
Shut! I'm no baby. I can eat my broccoli like a big hoot. For example, see? Who said I won't eat broccoli? Broccoli, I'm a big hoot. I don't feel good.
Okay, Hoots, you proved your point. I'll be at Teamwork HQ if you want to stop by after the video, and I'll make you some chalky red pie for being such a big hootie and eating the broccoli. See ya, Hoots.
See ya. See, fellow hooties, all Angelica had to do was just eat the nasty broccoli, and she could have had her seconds on dessert. And yeah, I hate broccoli. Broccoli is a nasty tree food, and I can avoid eating it now, since I'm a big hoot now. But I can eat it if I have to. The point of this little skit is, just eat what your parents give you, Angelica. Sitting there yelling, no, and throwing tantrums won't get you closer to your dessert any sooner. However, how can she learn this if she has a meek father who is too afraid to tell his daughter no and just does what she wants because he's so afraid of what she, a 3-year-old, will do in retaliation? And the worst part of it is that she's played this game before! We see that this isn't the first time she threw a tantrum to get a food taken off the menu until she can only eat cookies, and then what? Eat cookies every day? You're gonna get sick, not to mention you're gonna have no teeth. Well, she still has your baby teeth, considering she's 3, but still, if this isn't dealt with now, then she'll never grow out of this mentality, and she'll be on Odd Obsessions or whatever show will be on when Angelica is an adult, and she eats nothing but cookies. And you can go, but Hoot, that's just silly. You think that Angelica would eat nothing but cookies well into her adulthood? Well, first, this is my hooded opinion, and you are very welcome to tell me that you disagree in the comments, which I do greatly appreciate you hooded feedback and opinions in the comments. Anyways, this chapter will have a little more than Charlotte's chapter, as we see more of Drew's pampering of Angelica than we do Charlotte, who is more preoccupied with her job. And yes, I understand that she is the final boss of mom bosses. She could take one day for her kid. Now, you could make the point that Charlotte isn't working when setting up Angelica's birthday parties, but you can also make the argument that she has her job on another line, or Jonathan, so she could go from screaming at the people she's hiring for the party and then to Jonathan at the same time. The point is, Drew is the one that gives her whatever she wants when she wants it, with not so much well, when we get home we can, or, well, if you're a good girl, or, well, if you do this, just, okay sweetie, I'll buy it for you. Now, Charlotte does throw big parties for Angelica. That doesn't mean she's to the extent that Drew is, being frustrated with him for spoiling her, which DuskTillShawn made the point that it's because of him growing up with a volatile Stu and his undiagnosed bipolar disorder, which I can see how that can be the case, and he can see the same moments of outburst in Angelica. I think those outbursts are from Drew spoiling her to the point where the non-existent, the small chance that he doesn't give her anything she wants, she'll throw a tantrum, to where Stu behaves a lot like Tommy does, where he just wants to do his own thing and is pushed to the outburst by Drew, or in the case of Tommy, Angelica, because she's raised that she's the boss and she has to order people around. At least in my hooded opinion. And on top of that, Drew has been making demands and showing that same bossy attitude to Stu during the episode Sour Pickles, when Stu wanted to do his own thing, But no, Drew demands that Stu play haggle with him, and only acted out when Drew kept demanding that he play his game, and not leave Stu alone. Typical sibling behavior, as it may be. I have to disagree that I don't think Stu has bipolar disorder, and Stu yelling when Drew doesn't want him to make Angelica a toy when he can buy one is more to Stu's pride as an inventor than anger issues. Now, could Drew have Stu make one for Angelica? Yeah. Do I think that Stu would try to make Drew buy it? Probably. I mean, we've seen them be mean to each other, but Stu would more than likely just give it to Angelica without making Drew pay for a toy that will probably fall apart later. Because, let's be honest, fellow Hooties, he's not the best when it comes to inventing. Yes, he's passionate at what he does, and he does have good intentions. His inventions, for the most part, are known to malfunction and fail. But we're not talking about Stu, so let's get back to Drew. The point I'm making is Drew is, for the most part, the most responsible for Angelica becoming the brat that she is today, where Charlotte encourages her to be the best she can be and not to take any prisoners, and the way Angelica sees her talk to people on the phone and at her house does contribute to her attitude that she's the boss, and if she wants something, that she can just point at them and demand it, and they'll do it right now. It wouldn't have gotten as bad if Drew wasn't catering to all her demands, and instead of telling Angelica no like a parent should from time to time, when she starts asking for whatever she wants, he gives her anything she wants, then blows up when she does something bad. Like Drew, you set no boundaries or rules, so she knows what she can play with and what not to. And yes, I understand, she's 3. The fact is, he made zero attempt to correct her, and when he does, he folds quicker than a house of cards when she throws a tantrum, afraid of what she'll do in retaliation, and has a nightmare about her suing them because he finally told her she can't have seconds of dessert because she wouldn't eat broccoli. As nasty as it is, she's a child and still has to do what her parents tell her to do. And for all she knows, she may like broccoli or any other foods besides cookies. But you can't do that, can you, Drew? All you want to do is just let her walk all over you. How about you dad up and stop being a sad, meek jellyfish of a man and actually be a parent more than when you actually have enough of Angelica's tantrums and you feel like disciplining her. You can't just act like a parent once in a while amongst the countless times that you just let her do whatever she wants. Because she'll think that you aren't serious, as in the episode Runaway Angelica, where she gets the idea that if she runs away, that they'll feel real bad about punishing her. But when she sees that Drew wasn't sad that she ran away because he had no idea that she did, even Charlotte wasn't aware of this. Because, you know, work comes first, I guess. She runs in, begging for forgiveness, but Drew doesn't care, because why should he? His daughter didn't run away to his brother's home some blocks away. Who knows who could have rolled up and snatched her off the streets? I mean, it happened to her cousin Tommy in Season 1, Episode 6, Ruthless Tommy, where Tommy gets kidnapped by 2 thugs, Bob and Mike, thinking he was the son of millionaires. Which, how can you confuse the Pickles for millionaires is beyond me. But that episode is a whole can of worms that I don't want to get into, because it'll tack on more time to this episode than I want to add. And I've spent enough time working on this video as it is. She does improve somewhat in All Grown Up. Well, she's not as bad as she was when she was 3, and she isn't as spoiled as she was. Unlike the fact that we didn't see any updates from the Pataki's parenting due to the Pataki spinoff being canned, we do see Drew improve as a parent, and Charlotte too. But Drew is undoubtedly the one that was to blame for most of why Angelica became such a monster of a toddler. I could add more examples, but that would mean the video would take longer than it already is to make, and I'm still new to this kind of video making. I know I say this a lot, but making videos isn't really easy while working a full-time job, third shift. Only having 2 days off, unless I'm needed, means I'm only able to put so many hours into a project before having to get ready for work. And I'm not complaining about my job. I love it, and it makes me good money. But I'd like for this to be more than a hobby, so I try to at least upload as much as I can. There are days where I'm just too tired to do anything, and would rather just play games or sleep, which has happened before. So I'm sorry if my uploads aren't as regular as I myself would want. I'm just happy that you fellow Hooties are here for the ride. And I'll be streaming more on YouTube, not to get my watch hours up or anything. But yeah, be sure to watch my streams, because you fellow Hooties are the best. Now as for my Twitch, as of the recent rule about the 100-hour limit on highlights and uploads to reduce storage costs, I'll be keeping 3 collections on my Twitch. However, streams will no longer be up as VODs. I'm honestly thinking about just moving the streams back here. We'll see how things go over there if I choose to keep a Twitch account. Anyways, that random rant out of the way. I hope you enjoyed this video, as jumbled as it is. Let me know what you think of the video in the comments, and how you feel about the topic of Drew and Charlotte Pickles. Like the Bataki video, I added footage only when I feel like it's needed. I wanted this to be like a podcast or something you can listen to while you do your chores, or whatever you're doing at the moment of watching this video. To listen to yours Hooties' hooted opinion as you go about your day. I hope your day is doing good wherever you are. If you want, like this video and subscribe to join the Parliament of Hoots today. As always, you fellow Hooties' opinion means so much, and I can't thank you enough for all of your support. I recently reached 400 Hooties, and it means so much to see all you new Hooties. Here's to reaching 1K subs by the end of the year. I can't wait to make this more of a hobby, and I can't wait to see you fellow Hooties for my next video or live stream. Until then, I'll see you amazing Hooties for the next video and stream, and when you visit the gallery again, and I give my Hoot in the Dark. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like the video, share with your fam, subscribe today and join the Parliament of Hoots. And also comment what you thought of the review. What are your opinions on said episode? Let me know in the comment section below. Your guys' opinion means so much to me, new viewers, and fellow Hooties. Check out the videos below, it'll take you to more of my content, and follow my other social medias, including Instagram, Twitch, and also Twitter, or X. Until next time, guys, I'll see you when you visit the gallery again, and I give my Hoot in the Dark.